Welcome back to Don's Life. Welcome to the channel. Thanks for joining today. We have a nice little upgrade for the interior for my Corvette C8 from Kustom Interior. That's right, we're putting in a carbon fiber steering wheel. Let's go. Now I'm hoping for a quick and trouble-free install on this one, but this will be a little bit unique, which I think you've come to expect with the Don's Life project. This steering wheel, although it's carbon fiber, is not the same as all the other ones out there. This one here has a special carbon fiber weave. Don't know if you can tell that, but we have honeycomb. Just let that soak in for a minute here. We've got a really nice honeycomb pattern. I've opted for the leather grips. We have some carbon fiber on the inlay there, and then we have carbon fiber all along the bottom. Unfortunately, this is not heated. Otherwise, you would see a wire here for the heating element. So we will lose the heat that we have. But let me show you the original steering wheel. There's nothing special about the spec of my steering wheel right now. It's got the wrapped leather with the 12 o'clock red stripe. And that's really about it. I guess it has the red stitching, but so does the new one. So I think the carbon fiber is going to work nicely to complement the other carbon fiber that we have going on in the interior. So we're going to take this one off and put in the new one. Now, because we're dealing with the steering wheel, we have an airbag. We better disconnect the negative terminal on the battery. Now let's just leave it sit for about 10 minutes, make sure there's no residual current left in the system. That way we can start to disassemble the steering wheel. Okay, now we want to pop off these side pieces here. You want to expose that 10mm bolt, and there's one on the other side. This is the close-up of one of the covers if you want to know what it looks like. So far so good. Use a 10mm socket to remove these bolts. Now those bolts should have released the airbag. So now we can pull it forward here, and now we have access to our plugs. So next we have to undo these plugs here. There's orange tabs on each side that when you pull both of those tabs upwards, there's one, there's two, it wiggles right off. So we'll do that on the other one here. I'm using a pick tool on this side because we don't have a very large area to get in. There, that tab's up. A little flat screwdriver on this side. There. Easy. Now this plug is actually quite easy. You just have to pry this up a little bit and then pull this plug out. There we go. Okay, next we want to release this harness here. We have to pull this red locking tab outwards, and then underneath there's a piece of yellow plastic that we depress to pull the whole harness out. There we go. Now we should be able to push the tab on the bottom, and that'll release the harness. Now for the part that uses some elbow grease, we have to undo this bolt here. It uses a T50 Torx. It's going to be on there pretty tight. We might even have to use a breaker bar. All right, Mrs. Don's Life is actually going to hold the steering wheel while I try and break this bolt loose. And I've got an aluminum pipe here. Going to be very careful not to scratch the door. Yeah, keep holding it.
Oh my goodness. That's so tight. Oh.
You got it.
Is it supposed to make that sound?
Yeah.
Oh,
See how it broke it loose?
Yeah, it sounded like it broke. Oh,
So I can do the rest from here. Thank you.
is it?
Yep.
It sounded like you broke something.
It's the Loctite. Now that that's broken loose, we'll use the ratchet to get it off the rest of the way. Now it's out. You can see the thread sealer or Loctite was busted loose. Now we actually have to thread it in a few threads. Just gonna go a little past hand tight here. And now we got to yank the steering wheel off. There. So that's so I don't punch myself in the face. Set your bolt aside. Pull off the wheel. All right, now the fun part. We get to transfer all of these pieces to the new wheel. We'll start up here. Use a T10 to get these little screws out. T10 as in Torx bit. And that'll free up this little piece of plastic here. Now we'll get the screw that's in here. It's a T20. Soon we'll be taking this cover off on the back, but before we do that, there is a plug, let me give you some light here, that's sandwiched inside this little plastic clamp. We got to release that first. All right, let's remove the paddle shifters. It's your T20 again. Take off the paddle shifters, you have to release this locking clip. You can push it out from the inside there. And then when you depress this tab, that will let you pull it out. There's one. This one I had to grab from the top. Wasn't easy to slide from there and release it. Now we'll take these 4 screws out. Now we should be able to release this cover, just slowly and carefully. There's going to be some more plugs attached right at the bottom here. So once we get it up high enough, you'll see there's a green plug there and a gray plug on the inside there. So we'll start with the green one, pull the lock out, then press the tab and pull out the plug. Same thing on this side, just a little harder to get at. Since my original steering wheel came with the heating function, we have to undo the wire for the heating element because we can't transfer that over. So we just have to unclip the cable tie that was holding them together. Now we're going to undo this harness. So there are heating elements disconnected. I can see that all of the wiring remains connected to these plastic pieces here. So we just have to remove those and then we will be ready to assemble the new steering wheel. Now we have a couple more screws in the front and I am paying attention to where they go. Some have more of a pan head, some larger than others. Voila. Well, there we go. We are ready to decommission the C8 stock leather wrapped steering wheel. Nothing too exciting about it. And now we have the Honeycomb carbon fiber custom one with the inserts right here, also with the Honeycomb. And then we have the leather wrapped area around here for 10 and 2 o'clock, depending on how you hold your steering wheel. I think this is going to look better once we have all the guts put in. Now you might be wondering about the LED shift indicators that some aftermarket steering wheels have. Yes, you can get that. This one's not spec'd with that, but that is an option if you wanted to spec yours out with some LEDs to correspond with your RPMs. But that's okay, this is the version I have, this is what I'm working with. Now let's put everything back together and then install it on the C8. Well, that wasn't so bad. Hopefully you had no trouble following along. Now we just get to install it. Only a few small steps left. Well, this part's kind of exciting. I just put a towel up here to block some of the sun that's coming through the garage window, adding a little bit of glare. Now we have to put this on nice and straight. There's a little flat spot that you can see there. That can help you line it up. There's actually a little notch here as well, so those should be aligned. That should be on there. Now we're also going to apply a little bit of thread locker or blue Loctite. Try not to make a mess here. Not very much. Just don't want that coming loose on its own. Just a couple little dabs there to get around the threads. I cleaned off some of the old stuff already. Just get that started and tighten it up. Now it'd be nice if we can get that yellow line that was originally on here facing straight up and down. Then we'll know we're close to at least similar torque. There. So you can see we have a nice vertical line there now. It lines up with the arrow. So that makes me think that we are at least torqued to what we were before. So I feel good about that. Now we can put this plug back in. Make sure it's locked, which it is. And now we can put the airbag back. Remember, we got this little guy at the bottom here. These are color coded. I'm going to put the purple one in the purple and the pink in the pink. Now we just have a couple bolts left. Just going to get them both started first. That way I don't have any alignment issues. Now I'll finish these up by hand. So I don't want to over tighten them. Put our caps back on. Okay, that's done. Now we get to connect the battery. Let's run a little test here. Make sure all our buttons are connected. There we go. Let's do some volume. So that works. Change station works, so these all work. Roll through our options, this works.
What would you like?
That
Okay.
works.
Speech session canceled.
And my cruise control should work. Z mode works. So I'm getting power at everything. So everything works properly. And wow, that really updates the look. I really like these inserts right here. Those are cool. It's got a good feel to it. Because I shift manually pretty much everywhere I drive, my hands are only in this area anyway. So I don't think my hands will be on the top or the bottom too often. Maybe sometimes. But yes, I think it looks pretty awesome. I love that it still has all the red stitching. Everything matches. It's got my 12 o'clock reference line. Well done, Kustom Interior. Well, that concludes my video of how to install a carbon fiber steering wheel on a Corvette C8 from Kustom Interior. Definitely check out their website. They have so many things to choose from. You may remember that we have some floor mats from them for the Corvette C8 that fit perfectly. We got the black with the red stitch honeycomb. There's also red available. The video I did actually has both versions. Definitely go check it out. But on that note, if you like today's video, hit that like button. Please consider subscribing, and we'll talk to you next time.